Chairman Plodwick, Vice Chairs Piscatelli and Brockreed, members of the Board of Trustees, President Emeritus Gaffney, faculty and staff colleagues, students, friends of Monmouth, members of the G7, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by saying I enthusiastically accept the invitation to serve as the 10th president of Monmouth University. Thank you to each and every member of our Board of Trustees, especially Mike Plodwick, the board chair, and Henry Mercer, the search chair, for this incredible opportunity. As I've said many times, I will do everything I can in the years ahead to earn this. To serve as the president of this university is a great honor for me. However, the greatest honor of my life is to be a husband and father. Please allow me to begin by introducing my family to all of you. First, the love of my life, my wife of 24 years, Amy. You know what they say, behind every successful man, there is a surprised mother-in-law. In all seriousness, Amy is the key to our whole family and will be a great asset to Monmouth, too. I love you so much, Amy. Next, the joy of my life, our kids, Grace, Molly, Jack, and Brian. As my father-in-law once famously said, and he might remember this, the kids, they are such a great comfort in my older age, and they're helping me get there a lot faster too. While that's probably true, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love you guys so much. I'm so proud to have a few members of my extended family here today. My father, John Leahy, who is 89 years young, and his wife, June. My father and mother-in-law, Dan and Mona Morello. My grandmother, Florence Morello, and my Aunt Maureen Morello. My only sister, Bridget Fisher, and her husband, Chuck, and my nephews, Mitchell and Owen. They look very excited to be here. Thank you all for being here today. I also want to remember today my mom, Nancy Buseman Leahy, my brother, Tom Leahy, and my uncle, Dick Conway, all of whom I miss on a special day like today. And I'd like to remember in a special way today my grandfather, Leahy. I never met my dad's dad. He passed away at 51 years old, long before I was born. The eldest of 11 children, he left school in the 7th grade to help raise his siblings. Years later, he married my grandmother, Helen, and raised 7 children of his own. According to my dad, grandfather Leahy was obsessed with education. You see, the Leahys landed in America in the 1850s, probably fleeing the ravages of the potato famine in County Cork, Ireland. Through the decades, Leahys had tough jobs: laborer, blacksmith, rail worker, even journeyman. Someone along that long line had to decide to break that chain, and it was my grandfather Leahy. He believed if you get an education, you get a chance. He insisted demanded that his children and their children and their children would all get college educations. And so we did. One of his sons, my dad, was a first-generation college graduate, an officer in the United States Marine Corps, and the president of a Fortune 500 company. And now, one of his grandchildren is a university president for the second time. I'd like to remember in a special way today, Vincent Joseph Leahy. I want to welcome to Monmouth all my former colleagues and friends from Wilkes University who are here today. Paul and Jean Adams, the new president and I guess First Lady of Wilkes. Bridget Junta, my assistant extraordinaire, and her husband, Steve Husted, a Wilkes faculty member. Jennifer Edmonds, who is now the Dean of the School of Business and Digital Media at nearby Georgian Court University. Michelle Strickland, who has not one, but 2 kids here at Monmouth, and so many others who made the past 7 years so meaningful to me. Thank you. And finally, I want to thank, of course, the speakers in today's program, all leaders in their respective ways. Rekha Datta, Barbara Mystic, Vin Gopal, Marina Wojnowicz, Michael Fazzino. Thank you all for participating in this important day for Monmouth. But permit me a special word about Scott Pillars. Scott has been a lifelong friend and supporter, always present at my life's biggest moments, graduations, our wedding, baptisms. He even baptized our son Jack with a seashell on the deck of our family home in Avalon, New Jersey. A decidedly Jersey Shore way to perform that sacrament.
Don't tell the bishop.
I was going to say, did that even count? Yeah. Scott hired me into my first higher education job, and he remains my mentor in the field. I learned so much from Scott. The most important lesson of which is to always put students first. I wouldn't be standing in front of all of you today if Scott had not given me numerous opportunities over the years. Thank you, Scott, for everything you have done for me. And thank you all for being here to celebrate Monmouth University. This one-time junior college was founded in the throes of the Great Depression, offering evening classes in the local high school in order to offer academic opportunity to students who would not otherwise have access to it. And thanks to countless people through the years, look at us now. One of those giants joins us today from South Carolina. That is our 7th President, Vice Admiral Paul Gaffney. President Emeritus Gaffney, would you please stand and be recognized on this important day at Monmouth University? Half a century ago, at a private college in Massachusetts, President John F. Kennedy asked, "What good is a private college or university unless it is serving a great national purpose?" What good is a private college or university unless it is serving a great national purpose? That question is more relevant, more challenging, more urgent today than ever before. And here are 4 ways that I believe private institutions like our Monmouth University can serve a great national purpose in the 21st century. First, we must educate students of competence, creativity, and compassion for a complex world. Students at private colleges and universities today will face uncertain futures: artificial intelligence, global climate change, unparalleled wealth disparities, unprecedented technological advances. One anecdote suggests that, according to IBM, knowledge now doubles every 13 months or so, but it will soon start to double every 12 hours. In this changing world, students will have 15, maybe 20 different jobs in their lifetimes. And of course, many of these jobs do not yet exist today. In this type of world, students will need to develop hard skills and soft skills, strong wills and soft hearts. At Monmouth, we will prepare students for this uncertain future by offering a comprehensive suite of programs across our 7 schools, with programs as varied as business management and social work, communications and nursing, software engineering and homeland security, and so many more, developing competent candidates to meet the needs of our society. But in addition, each and every student will pass through a general education curriculum designed to develop creativity, global understanding, cultural diversity, technology depth, and yes, social intelligence. In my opinion, there is no better way to prepare students for this dynamic and uncertain world than to integrate the liberal arts and humanities into professional programs, and we'll do that here at Monmouth. Second, we must make first-class private education as accessible as possible to a diverse citizenry. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the majority of the U.S. population will be non-white by 2050. Students in the decades to come will be increasingly diverse, increasingly financially needy, and I hate to say it, but increasingly underprepared for rigorous college-level work. Despite these challenges, colleges and universities, especially private ones, will need to be more welcoming to students of all backgrounds in order to create our nation's workforce for the 21st century. Since our humble beginning, Monmouth has always welcomed students of promise, men and women, students of all socioeconomic levels, all ethnic backgrounds. Today, in this first-year class, 47% of our students are the first in their family to pursue a 4-year college degree. 33% qualify for Pell Grants. 29% are diverse. We at Monmouth out-access many other private and, yes, even some public institutions in providing academic opportunity, consistent with our founding mission all those years ago. And we will serve an increasingly diverse student population not just by tolerating each other's differences, but by celebrating them. You see, I have a belief shared widely by my colleagues, first at Wilkes and now at Monmouth, that talent is everywhere. And it is our responsibility as educators to find it in our students and to help them unleash it. Third, we must continue to expand discovery to solve our nation's problems. According to polling from Pew, 74% of Americans still look to colleges and universities to solve emerging problems. And private colleges and universities must remain leaders in this effort. Private colleges and universities need to continue to expand their research and scholarship profiles, not at the expense of teaching, but to enhance it. Scholarship keeps professors current in their fields and demonstrates to students the excitement of making new discoveries, modeling for students the kind of creativity and innovation they will need in an increasingly complex world. At Monmouth, we believe there is synergy between research and teaching. In my opinion, each reinforces and enhances the other. Given our mid-major status, we'll pick our spots of discovery carefully. For example, Monmouth, hard by the Jersey Shore, is particularly well positioned to contribute to our collective understanding of coastal issues through the Urban Coast Institute. Our Kislak Real Estate Institute allows us a chance to provide greater understanding on all matters related to development in an increasingly overcrowded planet. New public insights will be gained, of course, from our first-rate Monmouth Polling Institute. And as the official home of the Bruce Springsteen Archives, no single institution in our country is perhaps better positioned to understand American music and its contributions in helping to understand the human experience. And fourth, we must be forces for positive economic, cultural, and social development in our communities. Even private colleges and universities should feel a responsibility, an obligation, really, to its host communities. Whether motivated by their missions, by their tax-free status, or by their blatant self-interest, colleges and universities should seek ways to extend their reach into their communities, partnering with local enterprises and social service organizations to improve those host communities. Just by being located here, Monmouth generates an estimated $400 million annually in economic impact. Today, we are the 5th largest employer in all of Monmouth County, employing some 1,600 people each year, 2 times more if you include student workers. Last year alone, we hosted 140 Division I athletic contests on campus. Our first-rate Center for the Arts hosted over 150 arts events, expanding the cultural offerings of our community and bringing countless visitors to campus in the process. But more important than that, we extended our reach into the community as our faculty members engaged the community in countless ways. And our students performed roughly 175,000. That's 175,000 hours of community service. We'll continue to seek ways to contribute positively to our host communities and the surrounding area. So, if we can educate students of competence, creativity, and compassion, if we can make our first-class private education as accessible as possible, if we can expand discovery to help solve our nation's problems, and if we can continue to be forces for positive economic, cultural, and social development in our communities, then we private colleges and universities really can serve a great national purpose in the 21st century. And if we here at Monmouth University can do all of this, then we will not only participate in this effort in the years to come, we will lead it. Let me conclude our ceremony today by repeating a story I told at my announcement last December. As a freshman at Georgetown, I was tipped off by some older alumni, Scott Pillar's among them, that the president of the university was teaching a freshman poetry class. I took that course as a general education requirement in the Hall of Cardinals at Georgetown with Father Tim Healy. Following that course, I went home for winter break, and I broke it to my parents that I was transferring from the School of Business to the College of Arts and Sciences, from a marketing major to an English literature major. You can imagine the explaining I had to do. It was also my interaction with Tim Healy all those years ago that made me first want to become a university president. That one class with that one professor changed my life forever. I'd like to remember Tim Healy on my installation day here at Monmouth University and leave you with something that he said about education. He said this: "The old teach and the young dream, and in that mystery comes a tomorrow that we who are older may never know, but will have helped to shape in the minds and hearts of our students." Tim Healy passed away in 1992, so he had no idea how he helped to shape this incredible tomorrow for one of his students, this student. I look forward to collaborating with all of you in the years to come to help shape equally incredible tomorrows for all of our students here at Monmouth University. Thank you very much.